So yeah, we're heading to UofH Business School. We're going to speak. I'm with my assistant Miranda, and we're in downtown Houston right now. We're going to UofH Business School. I went there for a semester, but all of my credits didn't transfer, so I had to drop out. So I thought that they would hate me, but for some reason they keep inviting me back. So
6 times.
Yeah, a few times they invited back. So anyways, we're going there. We're gonna give a quick speech to, they have an organization or club that's for entrepreneurs, people in sales, business, stuff like that. So we're on the way right now in Houston traffic. So we'll see. But yeah, I used to live right by, I don't know, you know, right before,
the Catalyst.
Yes, like 6 months before I started Mitt Group. I think you went to like the rooftop park to do those pictures for that one little magazine thing. Yeah.
With the marble.
Yeah. That was a cool high rise. And that high rise. Yeah. And that high rise, the backside, it faces like all of Minute Maid Park. That's just right. I tell it like it is. So I always, each time I go, I read the room and see if they're a bunch that I want to just say it how it is, or do I need to be a little bit more cordial and professional? But usually I default to just saying it how it is and just hope that they don't report me or ban me from the school.
I mean, it hasn't happened yet, so.
Yeah.
So one day.
I mean, everything's coming together, yeah. And we actually, you know how we were going to dump that commission platform? I think we're going to end up using it potentially, because they showed everything and it looked like they weren't going to be able to show a lot of the things that the reps needed to see. And so we diverted the entire plan and started having our XL guys start on that project, and then they emailed us and like, well, we figured out a solution because they realized that they weren't going to get our business. And so now, well, it may work. Yeah, they could get it ready in a week or so, potentially. Nice little walk.
Nice architecture.
Nice. So you never went to one of these universities?
I went to Texas State for a
Go
little
to
bit.
Texas State, right? You're a dropout as well, huh?
Yep.
Oh man.
A fellow dropout. You work at Mitt Group, you get to walk a mile to talk to people at universities. Sweat.
I love walking.
I had a little itty bitty.
So it feels like a hospital or something in here.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm freezing. I think this is it. Yeah, we look like students. What's up, brother?
How much?
Good to see you. How you doing?
Great to see you.
Okay, cool. So it's good to meet you guys. Thanks for coming out. I don't know if you came out for me or the free pizza, but both is hopefully a win. Anyways, it's good to meet you guys. It's really fun talking to, you guys know this being, you know, obviously you joined an entrepreneur club, you're in business. When it comes to things like that, it's hard to find people that are interested in what you are and kind of have like-minded type of viewpoints when it comes to business and being successful and entrepreneurship. You know, a lot of people, they see social media and they see being an entrepreneur is this amazing cracked up thing that you suddenly end up on private jets, and it is not like that. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, and I'm sure as you guys know, if you guys started your own ventures or you're looking in how do you be successful. And so I just want to give you guys like a quick rundown on myself, maybe a quick story on my background, and then I just want, do you want me to talk about how to make money, how to make business? Is that cool? Is everyone good at that? Do you want me to be upfront, like very as direct as possible and tell it like it is, or do you want me to be politically correct?
No. How it is.
Okay, cool. Don't get mad at me if I'm not professional enough and if I start getting on a rant. Okay, so anyways, so my name's Grant Mitterlehner. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, Clear Lake, and Dickinson is where I went to high school. So Galveston County, southern part of Houston. Grew up, family's like middle class. Really nice family. Parents kind of separated us up, but really good people. I was bulked up, scrappy, dual threat, 6-foot quarterback. I'm super slim now, but I played junior college football in California and then transferred to New York. And then ended up coming back here to UofH, and on orientation, actually I found out, like as I walked into Bauer, it's right over here, right? Where am I at maybe it's outside, yeah. So right when I walk in, when you meet with your guidance counselor based off your last name. So I was in like N through M or L through M or whatever it was, and they started doing roll call and they said my last name, and she goes, "Wait, Mitterlehner?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I need to talk to you right after this." And I was like, "Well, what's going on?" She's like, "I'll talk to you after." And of course I got to listen to a whole hour's speech before I get to find out what she's talking about. So the entire hour I'm sitting there listening how hard business school is supposed to be and how if you don't study you're going to fail. And I'm sitting there thinking, who did I piss off in the last year? Like, what girl did I make mad? Did ex-girlfriend's mom's aunt, cousin trying to kick me out of school? And I'm sitting here like, what was going on? Now, keep in mind at the time, me coming to Houston and going back to UofH was UofH is an amazing school. But at that time, I'd finally decided to give up football. I was a solid quarterback, but I would have had to transfer to play D2 or D1 AA football. And I realized unless I somehow become Drew Brees, I'm not going to make it. And I was already starting, online businesses and finding ways to make money through college. But when I was in New York and also in California, I was scraping. I couldn't rub 2 pennies together. And in New York, if you know anything about New York, it's even if you stay in at a really nice hotel, it's pretty small. Because it's so expensive. And so our dorm room, apartment, whatever it is, let's say from right here to this part right here, and then all the way to, I would say this right here, and we had 6 people. So you had bunk bed here, and bunk bed here. And these guys were huge. They're my football, teammates or whatever. And so we're packed tight into this thing, and we're hustling, trying to make money, trying to survive. And during that last 6 months of being in New York, it was super expensive. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. It was just a really, really stressful time because at that point I was about to turn 22. So I was getting up there where everyone's graduating and getting internships and getting jobs places. And I'm kind of having this, it felt like a midlife crisis or something, but I don't know what they'd call it early, but I was stressed. I didn't know what to do. And I would walk, half a mile or whatever it was to this Barnes & Noble. And I just kept reading that all these successful people, they were just avid readers. Even people you wouldn't think of. Some of the best, weirdly, Lil Wayne's a big reader. Rihanna's a really big reader. People that are not in business but are very, very successful in entertainment and other industries were avid readers. And I thought I was ADD, and I always said I didn't like it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. So I would go sit, and I couldn't go buy a bunch of them, so I'd pull them off the business book section shelf. I'd go sit in the coffee shop. I'd read 15 pages. I'd take a break. I'd read 15 pages, take a break. And all of a sudden, I really started evolving and feeling more confident, figuring out what I wanted to really do. And I said, you know what? I want to get into sales, eventually start my own business, but I have no connections. I'm very broke, and I guess I gotta finish school, and I probably had a year and a half left. So I thought, I have connections in Houston. I had no connections. Because when I came back, I had to be an Uber driver when I got back. So if you have to become an Uber driver, you don't have connections. So I'm like, I'm going to transfer to UofH. But as I got here, remember I was talking about the guidance counselor, she knew my name. Why does this lady know my name? I've never been to UofH besides maybe a basketball game once or twice, maybe a football game, and I don't really know many people here. Come to find out, she comes up, she goes, Grant, so you're a senior. And I'm like, right. She's like, the problem is at UofH, you're a freshman. And I was like, what? None of my credits got accepted. So I had almost 4 years. I was basically like, I'm gonna be here for a year, maybe maybe one semester, whatever the case may be, worst case, a year and a half, and I'm done. I'm focused on my career. I'm gonna go do what I wanna do. I find out, on orientation, they got the balloons and all the stuff, make you feel special. I'm going home finding out I'm a freshman again. So I'm 22 years old, I'm a freshman, I'm Ubering, like literally I left there and I kept Ubering because I needed to make money. I'm sleeping on my mom's couch, so I moved back and slept on my mom's couch, so I was saving a bunch of money, which was great because I had somewhere to stay, but it's probably not a good time for me to go try to get a girlfriend, right? Try to get a date. 22, I'm broke, and I sleep on my mom's couch. I don't have much of the resume, right? So I'm like, what the hell do I do? So I'm driving around and I go, I need to make money, I need to make money. And the first thought is, I have no degree. There's a lot of opportunities, and when I was in California playing football, that was right when a company named Solar City started blowing up selling lease systems, which Elon Musk helped found it, his cousin ran. And I was like, solar. And when I was out there, just everyone kept talking about it. I was like, I really want to be in solar. And so I said, you know what, let me get a sales job and start making some money in full commission. Started working, getting sales, and I had a plan because I'd always see these high rises in downtown. I was like, I want to live in a high rise downtown. I don't want to sleep on my mom's couch forever. So I gave myself a year target where I saved, on my worst week or month, 10% of my income, on the highest 50 to 60%. And just saved it and invested early I invested into Bitcoin and Ethereum and Tesla and a lot of different stuff. So that helped like crazy because I started making money fast with that too. So I'm saving, I'm investing, I'm reading, I'm trying to figure it out. And I ended up deciding, okay, I want to figure out how to start a solar company, and just brick by brick, I figured it out, from just me to hiring one person to hiring more to scaling. And now we're in 17 states. And so the company I own is named Mitt Group, and that's now the parent company. So Mitt Group, if you guys seen like Virgin Group, like Virgin Galactic, you know how they got the company Virgin, but then they have Virgin Records, Virgin Galactic, all the different Virgin companies. That's the same basic model that we're doing. And so we started Mitt Solar, which is solar, Mitt blockchain, crypto mining. And then we're building into a lot of different industries surrounding the solar industry and a lot of different stuff that we're going into. But now our solar company, we're in 17 states. Our first year we did 5.6 million in revenue. Year 2 we did around 12, and this past year we did about 20. So this year we should grow at a really, really hyper rate like we've never seen, more than the other years. And that's kind of a little bit of my background. And I fully self-funded everything, kind of what I was talking to you guys about. I was saving every single penny. I invested it like crazy. I would say I'm a pretty risky person, but I was lucky enough to choose a really good industry that I know is going to be here and going to grow massively over the next 10 years, and it worked out really well. So that was extremely exciting. Now, for you guys, and of course I can kind of talk more about what I do in my business stuff maybe when we're talking Q&A or whatever the case may be, but I want to talk about maybe necessarily, and one thing too, as I'm telling you guys, test and try everything. What works for me may not work for you, right? And there, you may take 1/10 of what I say, but you could apply it to you and your spark and your way, and it's going to be better than anyone could ever imagine. But if you're in business school, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to be in sales, whether you want to become an executive at a company, you want to be whatever the case may be, my recommendation is this: do not separate. And this is what I've seen with so many different students and people I went to school with, friends I know, and everything. Don't separate, don't put school on one side and make it like this little bridge, and then once you cross the bridge, you now go to your career. because you cannot get this time back. This is a beautiful time in your life. You're learning, you're growing, you're meeting people. That's great, yes. But that 4 years or 5 years or whatever that time may be, even if it ends up being 6 years or 3 years, that time you can't get back. And most people aren't going to tell you to do this because most advice, realize that this advice is coming from an entrepreneur business. So think different, do things different, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that's the right way 100% of the time. But what if I'm saying is if you truly want to be in business, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to make money, don't separate college and real world career. Combine them. It's the same thing I tell people that work with us is I don't believe in work-life balance. I think your life and your work is the same thing. Your work, whatever you choose, should coexist with the way that you want to live. No different than, let's say, I want to make a bunch of money so I live in a nice neighborhood and I can travel. But I also want to travel anytime I want to. Well, you probably shouldn't become a doctor. You'll make the money, but there's no way for you to live the exact lifestyle you want because you have to be on call all the time. You have to be in the hospital all the time. It doesn't make sense. So you would probably want to be in a career like tech or something where you could run your business or work for a really great company or work with a startup right from your laptop. So no matter where you're at, you can travel on the go and it fits your lifestyle. So in the same sense, if you're truly wanting to be in business, you got to be thinking right now, how the hell do I make money now while I'm in school? Truly. And if this question's uncomfortable, it might be maybe because of the advice you've had or whatever. But if the goal and the target is I want to be in business, I want to own my own business, I want, whether it's finance, supply chain, sales, operations, you want to be able to get as much experience now because the economy, even take away from being an entrepreneur, every one of these businesses now, they're looking for skill sets. Skill sets are everything. The degree is great for what type of person you are, showing that you finished something, your connections, your network, all of that is fantastic. But at the end of the day, a business owner, or a consumer, they mainly care about not where you went to school, but what skill sets can you provide for them, their business, or their entity. There's two brothers that I became really good friends with that are in Austin. They have this YouTube channel called The School of Hard Knocks, and it's blown up on YouTube and Instagram. They have like 3 or 4 million followers, and they go around and they go, how did you become a millionaire? Or how did you do this? Or how much money you got in a bank account? And they go around and they've blown up and they interview entrepreneurs. But they actually started that while they were in school at UT. These guys are geniuses. But they were starting making content and started doing an agency. So the older brother was incredible at Excel. Someone found out about it and he ended up working with Buc-ee's. Everyone knows what Buc-ee's is if you're from Texas. He ended up working and reconstructing all of the Excel spreadsheets and processing and data and supply chain, everything for Buc-ee's while he was in college. They could give 2 shits if he was in college or not. The guy was incredible. He's one of the best people at Excel literally in the United States. But the other brother isn't like that, but he's unbelievable at marketing and unbelievable at social media. So they were starting building their brand their entire time that they're in school. Now the younger brother's a semester or so away from graduating UT, and they're already making 6 figures. There's months where they've been making 30, 40, 50K a month. And they're just scratching the surface starting stuff, and people are spending tens of thousands of dollars a month to work with these guys because why the hell would they not? Why wouldn't they? And the secret is this. If you wait till you finish school, that's amazing, but you just wasted the 4 best years where there's no better 4 years that you can mess up and make mistakes and fail than during this time. Because you really already have nothing. We're all, I was right there. If we don't have a lot of money in college, well, you didn't have a lot of money anyways. You're still figuring out what you want to do. And so if you don't know what you want to do, you should try 10, 20, 30 things, everything. Quit a million jobs, who cares? Just change your resume, do whatever. But that experience, by the time you're out and you're 21, 22, changes everything. Because what's interesting is you guys, all of you, have a competitive advantage because you're young. In older generations, it's actually weirdly a sense of credibility. For example, let's say you're starting a tech company. Does the media and investors like it more if, let's say you take the exact same tech company that does something really cool. If you're 27 versus 57, which one is more credible if it's a tech-based company?
27.
Why?
Younger.
More tech-based.
Because younger people must understand tech.
You're more familiar with the infrastructure of tech. You grew up with technology.
You grew up with it. Exactly. Social media, same thing. So you got to think is that when you're young, and when I first came into companies and I had to figure out how to move up and how to do these things and how to become the best at sales and all these different things, always know it's like when you're younger, you're 20, 21, 22, whatever the case may be, you're a fine line. Everything that you do great is going to be perceived as you're incredible, you're the chosen one. And anything, the slight mess up, oh, he's too young. So you have less margin of error, but you have a higher potential to move up and to do really good things early, but you don't want to waste your time. And what's so interesting is with all these different new technologies and with social media and with all these different things, and you guys are brilliant, if you can find your skill set, and this is kind of the next step of that, is use college as a testing ground. And you'll be surprised what you guys can do. But the third step is choose your career, choose your industry, at least the first one, the same way you're choosing a race car for a race. If we have a race, what car would you use? If you're choosing, for example, horses, there's different type of horses that are meant to run long, and then there's horses that are meant to be a sprinter horse, very quick. It's the same sense on your career. So what I would say is pick a career or industry that matches your lifestyle, but also has the earning cap to actually support what you want to accomplish. So if you want some crazy lifestyle, you want to make all this money, you're like, okay, cool. Now I want you to figure out and search right now, not in 5 years, no network connection, you don't need none of that. What industry right now could you guys get into? Right now. Don't think about any barriers, who you know, degree, it doesn't matter. What industry could you enter right now? And if you were a top performer, if you were the best of your field at whatever you're good at, how much could you make? And identify those different industries and start finding out how you can get in them today, like as soon as possible. Or support someone who's fantastic at it and learn from them. There is so many ways to make tons of money and be extremely successful, but you don't want to waste the time right now where you guys are young, you're fresh, you're ambitious, you have no bruises, you have nothing to lose, and you can learn and fail a million times and then hit something big and figure it out. I cannot tell you guys how many people I've met that are y'all's age, my age, younger, that are making millions of dollars right now because they know a certain skill set, they stick to it, and they know how to brand it properly. And then they learn to scale and everything like that. And that's what it's like. We have resources all around us with the internet, with everyone knows someone that can connect you. And if you can find that skill set, that's when really, really good things can happen. And then the last part is just finding ways to continually evolve yourself. And what I would recommend, I call it the 47-hour rule. If you, even with school, if you spend, let's say school and work, you spend an average of 40 hours a week, just spend an hour a day, even if you break it up into 10, 15, 30-minute intervals, whatever it is, reading, learning, or finding something new. Think of your brain as like a computer. We can teach it anything you want. So even if you're not meant to play piano, if you practice piano for an hour a day for 3 years straight, would you get better at piano? For sure. Let's take basketball. I don't think anyone in here has the potential to be LeBron James. I don't know. But let's just say, regardless, if we practice basketball for an hour a day for 3 years straight, would we be better? Would we become LeBron James?
No.
Probably not. So that's where what you spend your time on, law of practice, what you practice on what you spend your time on, you're going to improve, but you also got to know what type of person you are. I am not an engineer. and I'm not an accountant. I understand finance well, but I'm not built to be a CFO, and I'm not built to be an engineer. So if I know that about myself, don't fight it. Go all in on the skill sets with the matching industry that fits your lifestyle and the potential upside. But then find, hire, and be around people who are really skilled at your weaknesses. So this is a great group because you guys all have different skill sets, you all have different personalities, you all know different people, and you have different information. A group of you guys coming together, even if you're not in the same business, but y'all contract each other out and you pay each other for doing little things here and there, it turns you into almost a superhuman. We just started, for example, I'm in solar, and we realized so many people wanted into the industry, but they had to do it through a company instead of just kind of working on your own as a independent business owner or independent sales agent. And so we're launching it tomorrow, but it's an academy that teaches you everything you need to know about solar, so you can basically become your own business owner, make 6 figures, all that good stuff. But in the process of making that, I'm relatively good at social media, I have a decent following, but I don't know how to edit. I don't have an incredible studio, and my assistant back there is Miranda, and we're brainstorming, how do we do this? How do we figure this out? Do we shoot this at my house? Do we go somewhere? Next thing you know, I was like, let's just Google studios in Austin, Texas. You find one, you pay them $100 an hour, and it looks unreal. It looks incredible. I'm like, well, how are we gonna edit it? Come to find out, these guys edit stuff for 75 bucks an hour. We go in there, boom, I'm good at talking. I know what the process is. I understand solar. I understand what we're talking about. We show up, boom, we start doing it. They edit it. It made me and Miranda look like the smartest people to ever live, that look like we're the experts of editing, but we didn't edit one video. We just knew what we were talking about. We solved the problem, and we found someone who was better at something than we were, and we leveraged their talent. And that's what happens when you start coming together. And this includes when you work for a company or when you're starting a business or whatever the case may be, is you leverage and you learn from really talented people around you, and you let them do what you do good, or they do good, and you can create a really a ton amount of success and momentum just from doing that. So those are 4 simple things that can help you guys a ton. If you guys want to do questions or whatever, that'd be great.
There we go. Okay.
Good?
You'll make room for her in the back.
Okay, there you go.
Abdullah, can you
Maybe skid over a little bit.
Thank you. Get up front. Get up front.
Alright,
Checkers.
guys. 1, 2, 3.
I thought of it. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Super for taking credit.
There you go.
Thanks for.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you guys are,
Yeah, brother. Thanks. My pleasure. Good seeing you, man.